Hi, everybody, it's Weird Wink Wilkinson laughing and scratching at you. How's everybody doing today? I got a little bit of a stiff neck. Let me just fix this up. Oh, that feels a lot better. Well, I got a great show for you today with some wonderful weird stuff. I feel so very weird.
There are some things in this world that go way beyond human understanding. Things that cannot be explained, things that most people don't want to know about. That is where we come in.
No human being would stack books like this.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, it looks like you're the one who needs to be taught a lesson, pal. Class is paying 101. The instructor's Casey Jones.
Look, I don't want to fight you.
Well, tough rocks, pal.
Do you want some coffee, Mr. Tully?
Do I?
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
It's a cup of coffee in the big time, yeah. Cup of coffee in the big time.
Hey, what do you say we both be independent together, huh?
I guess one person can make a difference. Enough said.
We have the tools, we have the talent.
It's Miller time.
Luminous beings, so we, not this fruit catcher.
Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Hey, these aren't my rules. Come to think of it, I don't have any rules.
Well, that's great. Either I have a monster in my kitchen or I'm completely crazy.
I don't think you're crazy.
You know something? Maybe I am insane. Maybe I am insane.
Pizza dude's got 30 seconds.
Rise to the top, oh yeah.
That's the nicest thing a dog can say about anybody.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Enough, I get the point.
You know what you need? You need a Brazilian plastic surgeon.
I've got one that can see.
Sometimes happens, someone has to deal with it, and who are you gonna call?
It's showtime.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Comic Book Radio. This is episode 309, and I am your host, Peter Cimetti. Tonight, my guest is Statistical Zero. He's, I guess he says that he's coming out of streaming retirement tonight, one night only. So if you're here, you've got a front row seat to a good one. I consider him a friend. I think he considers me one as well. And I think if you know him, you probably consider him a friend too, and vice versa. He's man, I don't want to speak for him about this, but he's doing some cool stuff that I find anyway on his YouTube, and it's growing for him. He's making a lot of shorts. He's growing his art. He's making more and more of it, which is the purpose of all of this stuff, right? So I really want to talk to him tonight about that, among other things. Whenever we talk, whether I'm on his channel or he's on mine, it's always a good, fun conversation. So I don't expect tonight to be anything different. Before I bring him on, let me say hello to you guys. We got Darker Half here. It says, evening trendsetters, and thanks, Pete. Oh, are you? Did you receive a gifted membership? Is that what that was? Or are you thanking me for something else? It is a new month. At the start of every new month, or at least I try to do this, whenever I stream a new show, the first show of a month, I get memberships to gift, 10 of them. And I did that before the show started. It's random. I don't get to pick who gets them. But if you did get one, enjoy it. You got it for a month. You get to use the emojis and see member only videos and whatever other stuff that comes with it. I forget at this point. If you do want to become a member of the channel and don't just want to wait around for a gifted membership, it's 99 cents a month. And that just goes towards helping me to do this, I suppose. And it's a tip, I suppose, as well. So thank you, guys. We got Revan Saber here. What's up, Revan Saber? Good to see you. What Geeks Do Network, or I'm used to saying the network part. What Geeks Do is here. What's up? We got Comics for Life in the chat as well. And there's Statistical Zero too. How's it going there, Stato? We'll see him in just a second. Citizen Ronan's here. What's up, Citizen Ronan? Bronze Age Caveman as well. How's it going? We got Jeff Kimbler here too. Hope you're having a good evening, Jeff. Citizen says, whenever I see the footage of Bigfoot walking, I hear in my head, dopity, 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 dope. Frakal Felgar is here. What's up? Good to see you. We got the Darker Half saying that and leaving a comment on my last comic review video. Well, you did it of my comic, so how can I not give you a comment? You know, you took the time to talk about my comic, and thank you for having largely a lot of praise for it. I appreciate that, and I hope you continue to enjoy the rest of the series as it comes out. But thank you for taking the time to just even do that. The least I could do is take some time after I watched it to leave you a comment about it. So thank you, man. And for those that don't know, go to Darker Half's channel. If you can click on that, I think you could. If you can click on that in the chat. He does comic reviews and things like that, and talks about it in a very earnest way. I think you might appreciate it if you're into that kind of thing. Brian Suddenly Old, what's up, Brian? Good to see you. We got Spicer here gifting 10 memberships. Thank you, Spicer, for gifting those memberships. If anybody received those memberships, courtesy of Spicer McLeroy, you have him to thank, not me, him. And hope you enjoy your membership there in the Comic Book Lounge. All right. So without further ado, let me bring him on, the man of the hour. This is the interview of the century. Statistical Zero.
That was an ego-inflating intro. You've done this before.
Once or twice. I just pop random numbers into the episode, and I'm like, that sounds good. 309. You know, it doesn't mean that I've done 308 of these previously.
That's
it's just
my brand.
Like, that was the number today. So how are you doing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. This is really weird. It's always weird coming on to streams now. You do it for 3, 4, 5 years, and then you go away for a while, and you come back, and it's just like, I used to do this. It's like touring an old job or something. You go into a building you used to work, and you're just like, man, I remember the break room over there.
It's got to feel like visiting your old like high school or something.
Yep.
You know,
and you'd walk by and say, there was my locker.
Right. You kind of walk
Broken.
around. Your head's held up a little higher.
Yeah,
you know, air of superiority.
That's right.
That survivor mentality starts to kick into.
100%. If I graduated, I'm just kidding.
And then a little bit of that fear.
Yeah, all those memories.
As you sink into some of the traumatic stuff.
See that teacher that remembers you and gives you a frown, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly. You have any stage fright right now?
No. It still feels natural. It's just such a weird thing because I'm so used to just drawing more now and not being on a stream, you know. But it's nice. It feels good.
Are you truly enjoying being away from the streaming side of things?
I am. You know, there are so many. As much as I loved it, and I did love it, there were times when I thought, like, hey, I don't have anything to say. I mean, I'm not you. Have millions of things to talk about. But there were times when I would go on and I'd think, like, holy crap, I don't know if I have a show because I don't have anything to say. Fortunately, the chat usually came in and started just talking about movies or, you know, things that they had when they were kids or whatever like that, teenagers. And that saved a lot of it. But it was like, you know, news-wise in this corner of comics, sometimes there's not anything going on. And when you want to talk about comic books and you haven't read mainstream in like 5 years, 6 years. It can get kind of tough, and it sometimes doesn't make for great TV. And I would be thinking, you know, I could just sit and be in my zone and draw and entertain people that way, put out, you know, maybe a one panel strip or something to make people laugh, or a pun, or a painting or something like that. But I've got to do, an hour and a half long show because I said I would, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's, I think, where the shorts that I've been doing come in.
I've been liking those too.
I just put that drawing out, and I'll just maybe have a quick moment of conversation, or just do the acting and the voices and stuff, be as entertaining as I can in that 30 seconds, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working okay.
It's fun when I don't expect you to do the voice acting on them, and you come in like full tilt. Are you a one take guy, or are you trying to get the right take?
Usually, unless I'm tripping the words up, then I gotta start it over. But I mean, I don't go in with any real plan as far as like what it sounds like. No.
Yeah,
Citizen Ronan says it wasn't that long. Feels like it.
It's been months.
And like March or April. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you were on my channel on a on like an open mic type stream
for about 15, 20 minutes
or
maybe.
two ago, maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that was
Fun.
was fun, and that's what kind of led to this.
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to pick your brain a bit on not just your kind of shift to the way you've been utilizing social media with your art, but also your reasons why. And if you think that could apply to other people too. Because I always see that there's all these people out there that, they don't want to be like a personality or whatever. And that's fine. I don't think you necessarily have to. I think anyone can utilize whatever this is, however they think they can do it. But there's a lot of people that don't think they can. There's a lot of people that think that maybe, they got to dial into the drama, or, do find something to comment about, or whatever it might be. They can't just do art, more or less. So I want to get your take on that, but I guess let's start with what kind of led to the thought process of you going down this path.
Well, I don't talk about it much, but I mean, I did have a very large life shift in December. And, when you have a big trauma, a lot of times things that meant so much to you, sometimes just it kind of fades, and other things rise up in terms of priority. And I thought to myself, like, I am an artist, I'm a cartoonist, and I'm good enough on the mic, but being a YouTube guy was never really something that I was like. I like talking to people, but like, it's not really something that I feel that I have in my repertoire, in terms of like, some people, it's like they have they get on and just like people just flock to them. They're meant to be on the radio, or they're meant to be on YouTube or whatever. I never felt like I had that. I'm by myself. I'd sit and talk and talk and talk. But it was always better when I was talking to somebody else. But that didn't always happen. So, I would just try to make the best I could. And, like everybody thought, like, oh, I'll build my audience. And then, I'll just get them used to me. And then I'll start maybe, I don't know, doing a book or something like that. But I found that I love just drawing, just showing people stuff, taking them along for the ride, watching me get better. I mean, holy cow, 2020, my art was rough. But I mean, I've been just drawing so much since then. But I figured that was, I'm an artist, so that's supposed to be default. And so many people, it's like, I'm an artist, but I've got to do this YouTube thing because that's supposed to be what you do, right?
Yeah, like a way to get the word out.
That takes away, I think, from, if drawing's your big thing, that takes away a lot of it. So I mean, a lot of people, they tend to plateau, right? It's like the learn by doing. I'm just going to learn on the page. I'm just going to do it on the page. And I would be somebody to like, I can't draw this hand, so I got to fill up a whole page full of hands. I got to, like look through 50 books and like spend an hour with the book drawing different things in that book to see what I can pick for myself. And having to get the shows ready and figure out what I'm going to do and, stuff like that. It started to cut into that. And it's like if you're learning how to do something like, say, draw, and you decide, oh, I want to learn how to play piano. Well, that's going to water down both of them. you either really want to go hard into one, or you kind of do it half measure with both of them. And I kind of felt like YouTube was starting to do that for me. And every once in a while, you probably know this. Sometimes you go on angry, and the show is like everyone can feel it's off. It might not seem like it, but you feel like it's off. The energy's feeling a little weird. Not the best show, doesn't make for the best TV, and you can't really help that. But especially when you had like as little to talk about as I did, sometimes you go on and you're just like, I don't need this right now. This is not helping me. So I went ahead and chose to try to entertain people in a different way that everybody. I usually go the opposite direction of what the group is doing. If I've got 50 people running left, I'm going to go see what is over on the right, sort of thing. It's always done well for me, but and it's not for everybody. But like, yeah, I find that there's a lot more time in the day when you're not streaming for hours and hours on end.
So was it a conscious decision for you to go into shorts and put art through there and kind of like voice act out your comic strips? Or was that something that you studied into, like how the algorithm work with this or whatever?
No, that
because
was all accidental. I mean, I knew I still wanted to. There were a lot of people that liked me on YouTube and would come to watch my streams and everything like that. I didn't want to abandon them. I wanted to be able to, still kind of interact in comments and things like that. So I thought, well, I'll try the shorts thing. And it exploded. It did really, really well, especially the comic strips. I find like my sketches maybe do a few hundred. Comic strips do thousands, 10, 20,000 sometimes. Because I've always thought that comic strips themselves are like your main and maybe last kind of tether to the normies, the mainstream, because everybody's got that like fond memories of the newspaper, going in and reading Peanuts or Calvin and Hobbes or Dilbert or whatever, the Lockhorns, whatever you might read. So people that would never read a Spider-Man comic or a Batman comic would absolutely sit down and read Beetle Bailey and Sally Forth. And it's not so much about making money for me. It's more about keeping comics alive and relevant. Because I do think they're important. Getting people to read, kids, everybody, like sometimes it's just sitting down, distracting yourself for a second from a really crappy day. Sometimes just that moment of a good comic can kind of start the change to change it around. I was thinking, you find those little blessings in a day. Don't look for the big stuff. You find the little tiny things, maybe a nice cup of hot chocolate, like it tastes good. You appreciate that. And then you find other things to appreciate. And before long, it's been a pretty good day, unless you're looking for the crap in the day. Then you're never going to have a good day.
Yeah. I mean, that's always what drew me to comics, was kind of like that commiseration with escapism. I didn't really seek out commiseration through mood. I think I more or less went to music for that.
Yeah.
Music just it hits me different than comics or even movies when it comes to having something that I feel like get me on this different, get me out of a funk or let me just wallow in it for a bit.
Yeah, this guy understands.
Yeah. And so I always use music for that, but comics was always for me this pure kind of take me out of this situation, this world that I'm in right now, and let me just immerse in something else, and pour over the page and get lost in the story. So that explains a lot in terms of maybe what people are finding with your stuff too. And obviously you're not the only kind of person that happens to. I'm not saying that you're the only person on YouTube or on Earth or making comics or whatever that someone immerses in the escapism of what they're enjoying through that comic strip or whatever it might be. But it's becoming, I don't know, it's becoming sadly less and less lately about the comic and the content and the creation and the story and the character. It's becoming less about the art and more about the artist, and I like, and I like learning about the artist, but I don't like learning about the artist on the level that maybe other people do. And if someone's watched this channel enough, you understand what I'm saying. I like learning more about, well, who you are as a person, and maybe like what your path has been through life and all the other stuff about you that maybe almost has nothing to do with comics.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to just because you can only really dive into so many conversations with so many people until you realize you kind of will have the same conversations over and over again, because there is so much similarity between what inspires you, why you're creating, what kind of stuff that you like, all that kind of
Yeah.
thing. You end up realizing, wow, like that could be the same conversation with hundreds of people, because
Yeah.
we all share something so similar, even though we're all different, but we're all different because of everything else. And so that's the stuff that I like. I like to learn that. I love it when I learn about someone and they have this quirk, or they like this sort of thing, or they enjoy this kind of music, or this kind of movie, or whatever, or they grew up this kind of way in this kind of place,
Yeah.
as opposed to just sticking solely to the conversation about comics.
Well, I mean, it kind of adds to the reason I step back from streaming. I do think, and I'm kind of practicing this as much as I can preach it, that artists and creators should have some kind of a little bit of a mystique, a little mystery. You think about the comics that you read when you were a kid, maybe by John Byrne or by, some Ed McGuinness, any of those guys. You knew nothing about them, absolutely nothing, and you could kind of like imprint yourself on them a little bit, like project. But then sometimes you find out who they are and you go like, ah, dang, this guy's kind of a jerk, or so, like I think that their ideas and their work should speak more about themselves. And sometimes, and we've seen it so many times in the last 5-6 years, you get on social media and you look at what this guy's or girl's saying on their page, and you're like, holy cow, this person would absolutely hate me abjectly, and I don't agree with anything on this page. Maybe I don't really want to read their books anymore, like, because all I can see is this person. It's not everybody. Some people can separate the art from the artist, but it certainly does have an effect on people, and in my opinion, comics, because you get enough of those people and the outside looking in. And I was always very conscious of this. You go onto a stream, someone says, oh my gosh, I like that book, let me see this guy. You go onto the stream and they are like, it's like watching Porky's or something like that. And it's like, whoa, maybe I don't need to.
Interesting analogy, Stabber.
Well, come on now. Like it's like a frat house sometimes. The last 5 years, we've seen plenty of frat streams. And I always thought that it was a little bit damaging to comics. And if I were like an employer, people were looking for work and I was an employer, I probably wouldn't hire a lot of the people like that go on to represent themselves like that. Personally, that's just me, because I would be looking at like what normies would be thinking, like expanding audience. It's one thing to have your audience, but then they go away for different reasons. Life pulls them away in different reasons. Like they don't have the money. Maybe they just decided they like playing PlayStation football games, or like PlayStation games or something more, and they switch over to games or manga or something like that. Then they're gone. It's out of sight, out of mind on the internet.
Yeah.
There's so dang many things to look at and
Oh,
see
yeah.
and do. And the algorithm doesn't help either. If you don't look at your channel every couple of days, it's gone. It just disappears.
Yeah, the algorithms are like a weird, creepy, mirrored reflection of your habits on these sites.
And you've probably seen it like on YouTube. If you watch like one WWF short or something like that, like the whole wall next time you open up is all WWF, stuff to get you to keep on looking and keep on interacting with it. So I mean, like, it's easy to forget about stuff. So I think, like, you want to stick in their mind in a good way, in a pleasant way, versus like, I didn't have a good time with that first impression. I think there's just too much other stuff out there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough too, because social media really creates this weird false sense of security. I think, where it makes you feel like it's okay to put your public, your diary public.
Well,
It's okay to have, every thought that you think, put it out there, because someone's obviously interested. And it caters so much to like the narcissistic tendencies that people might have.
But more often than not, it turns into embarrassment, which turns into trolling to kind of save face. And I've said this before, but a house built on trolling does not have a steady foundation. It's always going to eat itself alive. And I try to very much distance myself from that behavior. It's just not something I think should be part of. If you're really trying to grow an audience in a business, you either kind of conduct yourself as a fan, which they can say pretty much whatever they want. There's not a whole lot of consequence, or a creator, which everything you say, could possibly cost you people. Everything you say could gain you people too. But I mean, that's the fine line you walk,
Yeah.
it's like setting a fire, burns down a ton of bushes, and then maybe some new ones grow up. Maybe they don't, but it's something that I think that more creators should take pause at when they're on the internet. But I'm a type of person that likes a lot of my private thoughts. Heck, I don't even have my tablet, my phone, or anything or a TV in my bedroom, because I think that's just a place to get away from all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much the same on the internet. When I'm on the internet, I kind of consider myself, I wouldn't say anything to anyone that I wouldn't say to their face, but I certainly wouldn't go off and troll, because I think when I'm on, it's like I'm on a job. You conduct yourself as if you're standing in front of the person. That's always been a very definite rule for me in my social media.
Yeah, it's funny too, because I don't think we put the genie back in the bottle.
No, it doesn't help that you can
societally. I think individually you can. I think when it comes to this stuff individually you can.
Well, I think it hurts people that to be able to block everyone. I mean, that doesn't agree with you, and shape your world like that when you're in your house, and then you go out into the world and there's no blocking a person that disagrees with you there.
Yeah.
And then some people just don't know how to deal with it, because those skills are gone, because you just don't deal with it. It's just
totally
gone.
Yeah.
And I think
absolutely.
that's a net negative.
100%, man.
I want a stat that if I see you in public, I expect an overly long hug from a fat, sweaty guy.
Is that why you don't do face reveals and stuff like that?
I don't think anybody, this is going to sound weird, but I don't really think anybody cares. I think that the bird itself is so much more synonymous with this voice, that if I put my face up there, it'd be like when they saw Peter Parker. So he's just a dude. He's just a guy. Okay, you can't see him, pick him out of a crowd. That's pretty much, it'd be uneventful.
Yeah, it's kind of like the voices of cartoon characters. When you're a kid, you're like, that's how that character sounds. That's that character. What do you mean there's a person doing that voice?
Right.
Yeah. And it's kind of like that. At least that's how it was for me. I didn't really spend time as a kid thinking that there's a human being doing that voice. When it came to animated stuff, especially, because it's different. In live action, you see the person that's there.
Yeah.
But in animated stuff, it's like there's a person. No,
I suppose that's the same for comics too. I guess when I was a kid, I never thought people were drawing and coloring and writing this stuff. It's just, there's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's getting them.
Totally. Yeah. And that was what was interesting to me later on with my collection, when I started paying attention to credits and things like that. Because for a long time they didn't even put the names on the covers. And then to find that I was gravitating towards certain creators the whole time, I just didn't know it. Because I was always, when I was a kid, picking up stuff that just appealed to me, visually and the character and that kind of a thing. And then after a while, it's like, oh, I got a lot from this kind of guy and that kind of guy. And that's interesting. And I never paid attention at all to the credits when I was a kid.
Right. I guess it was like Carl Barks, like how people were able to figure out, this is the guy that does the Good Duck comics before they gave any of the credits. It was all Walt Disney that wrote it all. And they had to chase this guy down because it was the quality of the story that struck people, and how he drew and stuff. Nobody knew that it was who he was, but they all knew the quality.
Yeah.
Hey, Will Studios.
Look at that. Everybody coming out to see Stato tonight. Aww. That's great. Fantastic.
What are you talking about? They all come to see your show. It's a great show.
Sometimes no.
Sometimes no. How do you like that?
But I do have someone who's devoted to always giving a thumbs down, and I appreciate that kind of devotion.
You know, I do
It's
too. When I
rare.
go in my shorts and look and stuff like that, it could be like 700, and there's at least one.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
It's like, no, it's like maybe YouTube does it automatically just so you don't.
For like months now, I got one thumbs down in every video I do, no matter
Yeah,
what it is. And
it's
I'm
true.
always like, I appreciate you, thumbs down. I
No, I mean,
appreciate
you know,
you.
when you got like 700 likes and you get like 30 dislikes, you can't be too dang mad at it.
Yeah, well,
Some
this
people
thumbs
just,
down's for you, thumbs down,
yeah.
But it's a thumbs up for you for always checking in to be like, I hate this guy, thumbs
I
down.
wouldn't mind seeing the thumbs up and thumbs down come back so I could play them against each other. It's just interaction like, oh, this video team thumbs up one.
I just wish they would leave a
Congratulations,
comment
guys.
too, because the comments would help with the video algorithm a bit more. Don't just like even just type thumbs down. Thumbs down on this, Pete.
Thumbs down guy. That could
Or-
be a great character.
Yeah. He goes around helping the algorithm, unknowingly perhaps, doing good in his own way. I appreciate it. I appreciate someone catching my show every single time.
They have an
and
opinion
saying-
about it. That's got to be worth something.
Exactly. Well, the worst thing that could happen when you make anything and put it out there is silence.
Right? Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, people think like the hate and the criticism and saying you don't like it, whatever, that kills or cancels things or whatever. No, nothing will cancel anything faster.
Not in the
than
tech world.
silence.
Yeah.
Silence will kill everything. And
That's
so,
right.
something goes out there and no one says a word about it. That's going to kill it way faster than anything else. So
You think
anything that you
clearly
really
they
don't
just
like,
didn't see it.
yeah, if you really don't like something, just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And it'll be gone soon enough. But if you keep talking about it, that just keeps on making it more and more powerful.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It becomes a talking point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we see that all the time with
All
this
the time.
stuff. You got channels like devoted even to
Oh yeah.
all the stuff they don't like and criticizing it. And not that the criticism isn't merited a lot of the time. But if their goal is to get you to for that thing to go away eventually and have something good come along, first of all, talk more about the good thing. That'll help.
Right.
But don't talk about the bad thing so much.
It's tougher. That's a tougher road though. Talking
Yeah.
about the good stuff. You notice that? Like you want to talk about how good things are, you might get 4 or 5 people watching. You want to talk about how bad they are, you get 200.
I want to get your
who's gonna make mad?
opinion. I want to get your opinion on this. Is it because of the fact that people just don't gravitate towards talking about a lot of the things they like? They talk more about the things they don't? Or is it because there sincerely just isn't a lot of good stuff?
No, I think part of it's soap opera. I think that's, but at the same time, as far as a conversation goes on the internet, I think a lot of people, if they agree, a couple might say, hey, same or whatever, but usually the conversation stops dead because there's nothing to add to it. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, I friggin' love alternative comics. And then everybody else is like a couple clicks on like, or whatever like that. And then it's just, yeah, that's alternative comics. Great. But, if you got someone saying, no, alternative comics sucks, then somebody else can come in and go, no, you suck. And then there's something to talk about. People got attention given to each other. Right. So then you can get things going off of that and keep them going. And then, channels can be sprung up by this person that thinks alternative sucks. Now I've got to talk about how much they suck, and then they get an audience because I too don't like that person. And then,
so if it bleeds, it leads, the old news saying.
Yeah, I do think that comic book fans, especially, I mean, everybody really, like, you think about dang near everybody likes soap opera. It's like documentaries. Everybody likes documentaries. It's just a difference of like if it's, Planet Earth or if it's some reality show, which is, a mockumentary kind of thing, but it's the same style. Soap opera is the same thing. I mean, you got artist throwdowns, you got WWE, you got actual soap operas, you got, that kind of thing. Everybody loves that conflict because that's, you want to pick a side and be part of something bigger and, feel good. Who was it? Huxley had said, if you want to get somebody to join your cause, promise them that they can righteously treat somebody else like crap. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that I think holds true, especially with the internet.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is like if you could caption the internet,
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's
more or less social media, unfortunately.
to be able to treat someone
But
like garbage and feel really good about it because you're on the right side, you're fighting for the good guys and they suck. They're not even human, like that's a lot of people jump up on that because it kind of that base nature, they get to kind of exercise that without guilt. And
it's weird because
we all want to feel
people
part of it, something bigger.
people are what I largely think that people are good. And the
Ooh,
reason
yeah.
I say this is because of the fact that if they weren't, we wouldn't even be here. We wouldn't have so many people
They could
running
also just be
around
lazy.
if they weren't good,
No, that's
because
true.
there would be extinction event after extinction event. And not to say that we don't have people throughout history, obviously, that are unspeakably horrible, and that horrible things have happened to large
Right.
amounts of people. But overall, I think that people are good. Now,
There's an unspoken line for sure. An unnatural law, like I think it was C.S. Lewis talked about it. Like you're never taught it, but when you do something wrong, just because it's just kind of how it is. Like everybody knows that there's a certain line that they don't cross, whether they do or not, but they know when it's not right, even if they haven't been taught.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
instinct.
But there is that thing that people can get swayed.
Oh,
People
sure.
can get pulled over to, through whatever it might be.
It doesn't help with all of
And
the misinformation, but I mean, like when you see like this video and you're like, holy crap, look at this AI, but you don't bother to look at the little Sora tag up front and you get fooled. So much of
yeah.
that on the internet now, and it's changing all kinds of people's minds.
And I can't tell anymore if it's the reason that we're in what we're in all the time with all this stuff. And it just doesn't just mean comics. It just means like the state of the world, especially if you're on the internet.
Yeah.
If it's like this because of the fact that there's something behind it that is psychologically plugged in to the way that people behave and the algorithm is tuned to that, or if it's because this is how people are when you get distracted beyond belief and you're put into this kind of, again, that false sense of security, that false sense of privacy, whatever it may be, where there isn't a person on the other side. It's easy to dehumanize. It's easy to kind of even dehumanize yourself and maybe not take that step of, if that person was right in front of you, would you say that? Would you do that? Would you converse in this way? Whatever it may be. And we're all guilty of it, I think. At least one occasion, if not more, myself included. And there's been times where I've felt, especially more and more recently, I felt like, let me just peel back a little bit, and even then there's still times when I feel like, no, I think I should just kind of say this thing because it's not a big deal. And I usually don't go full tilt into crazy land the way some people really do. Holy smokes.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's the kind of thing that, like my thing right now, I'm a Boston Bruins fan. It's been a tough season. They're finally starting to get a little bit better. Before the conversation started, they're facing Ottawa and they were winning 2-1. I don't know how it's going now. If you're in the chat, don't tell me. I hope that they win. If they win, it's the 5th in a row. But before that, they were having a real rough go of it. Last year was a real rough go. And every now and then I'll post about it online. I'll be in conversation with other people or whatever and posting about how much, something sucks right now, or this player's kind of screwing up right now or whatever. But it's nothing as crazy as what I've seen other people direct to other people, or even to me sometime too. But it's one of those things where it's like when you're a fan of something, even when you're critical of something, the reason you're critical is because you love it.
Oh,
you care
yeah.
about it,
Well, if it's close to your life, I mean, I think that it's sometimes easy to forget that, like if it's criticized, it's not really going anywhere. Like if somebody likes Nickelback and somebody else says Nickelback sucks, like, okay, Nickelback's still going to be making their records, but you like that music. So I think a lot of people kind of transfer that to them. Like that's a criticize on them is a criticize on me because I like that music.
Nickelback,
Therefore, I am That was just the first thing that came to mind.
You know, that makes me think the other day, because I did see something about blah, 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 Nickelback, this and that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not really a
contested.
Nickelback fan.
Right.
I love
got one
music that
song,
kind
maybe.
of sounds like Nickelback. You know, like I've enjoyed Nirvana and
Quarterback,
Alice
right?
in Chains and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but then Nickelback is far removed later on.
Very 2000s still.
But at this point in time, I don't think anybody has the right to say Nickelback is like the bar for the lowest that music could be. Nickelback's not even in the conversation at this point.
Yeah. So
Even then, it wasn't really I don't know how that had started. That like the worst thing was Nickelback. You know, there were so many worser things or whatever at that point in time too. But it's you know, kudos to them for not going crazy on everybody.
Do you think hockey fans are behind soccer fans? Because I mean, or football fans, whatever. Do you think they're the most passionate behind soccer, or would you say like
I don't
football's
know?
got them? Because I've seen some die-hard hockey fans.
Football's up there too.
Heck, Billy and his wife, Billy, you know, Tucci, he's an Islanders, and
Billy loves
she's
the
a Ranger.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Very passionate.
It's tough to say. I think a diehard sports fan of whatever they're into will make an argument that's the most passionate fans. That's the sport.
Yeah.
As an outside observer, I think football fans are pretty damn passionate. I'm not really a football fan. I never really got into football that much.
Sure.
I got into baseball and basketball at one point in time. Football, it was kind of like I knew star players and I was familiar with teams and stuff like that, but never really cared much for it past that. If football was more continuous, I think is too many like stop, line up, go, then stop, line up, go. There's too much of that for me. And that's why ultimately I ended up drawing more to hockey. It was more of a continuous pace.
See, I like the video games. I like the documentaries and stories, and I like the movies, sports movies and stuff. But I've never been like hardcore into any real sport.
Yeah,
that's the craziest thing. It's kind of like, you know, like WWE, where you'll play the games, you'll buy a shirt or something, but you don't really watch the show, kind of thing, or you know, one of those sort of deals. But I really like sports documentaries and things like that, or sports movies. Like Rocky's still one of my favorite. You know, like overall franchises.
Yeah.
Of course, that's a drama with the boxing backdrop. It's not necessarily, like Stallone himself said, it's not really a boxing movie. It's a drama with.
If you just
in
even cut up the screen time and dwindle it down to the minutes, it's not focused on just a boxing match. That would be a horrible movie. But
Citizen Rona's a hockey guy.
That's the thing is that the hockey's the only sport I watch now. It's the only sport I really follow. I'm still kind of aware of things, and you know, the way I think any kind of sports fan is loosely aware of certain things, but other things it just completely fell to the wayside. Like half the time now, so many different sports franchises have been either added on or have gone away, or the name has changed, and I'm like, what the hell team is that now? You know, because the last time I followed a particular sport, like if it was basketball or something, was 20 years ago. You know, so it's like a weird little time in my life with all my friends. And, you know, I had a friend who was really into baseball and a friend that was really into basketball. And, you know, so I kind of knew about different things and played all the sports, but hockey was always the sport that felt like a good fit for me.
I think the only thing I concretely know about sports is like Arizona sucks in almost every single sport. Sucks as Arizona.
They were good for a little bit, I think.
Early 2000s, the Diamondbacks, but I mean, like overall,
Diamondbacks.
like I don't think they're very good now.
Are the Diamondbacks still around? I don't know.
Because there's I don't even know if the Coyotes have ever won a game.
Although the Coyotes won games.
Oh, what?
They're not around anymore.
Are they gone?
Yeah,
that shows how much I know.
Oh man, the Coyotes. Okay, so they were first. They were the Winnipeg Jets, and the Winnipeg Jets are now the team that used to be the Atlanta Thrashers. The Atlanta Thrashers were a team that used to be the Atlanta Flames, which used to then be the New Jersey Devils. No, the Calgary Flames.
Yeah.
And then they turned to Calgary. But yeah, so the Winnipeg Jets were originally the franchise. They moved to Arizona. They were the Phoenix Coyotes.
Yep.
Then they became the Arizona Coyotes.
Yep. And they still sucked.
It wasn't enough for them to represent the city.
They had to swallow up New Mexico as well.
They were like, it's going to be the whole state or nothing, you know. So okay, now they're the Arizona Coyotes, and then the Arizona Coyotes were worse than the Phoenix Coyotes. Phoenix Coyotes had a couple decent years getting in the playoffs and whatever, but Arizona is like kind of always a basement level team, and now they are the Utah Mammoth, which was the Utah Hockey Club last year.
Oh wow!
Because they couldn't really get a name thing going on, so they were the Hockey Club.
It's
like that
Wild every once in a while, but
yeah, that's the Minnesota team, right?
Yep.
Formerly the North Stars.
We used to have the North Stars. Yep. Then they went to Dallas.
Yep. And then just became the regular Stars.
Yeah, that's right. They lost. They could have made South Stars. That could really stupid. No. We migrate. We're South Stars now. They could have been called the Snowbirds. That would have been, how cool would that have been? Like
the Snowbirds?
Yeah. They moved down, old people that moved down to the
You're
south.
Just saying that because you're a bird.
Yeah, that's right. No, I've been really in the mood for like PS1 sports games, so I just ordered like the entire 2001 lineup.
Oh, that's a Madden. That's a sweet year for sports games.
Yeah, Madden, the NHL, like the NBA Live, all that stuff. So I'm pretty excited to get, because I've got the arcade stuff. I got Blitz. I got Rock the Rink. I got like those things.
That's good stuff. Those
Rock
are
the
fun.
Rink. I love Rock the Rink. It's my favorite hockey game.
Oh man, yeah, that was a good era for sports games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. They're boring now. I've tried a couple of them. It's the same game every year with like a roster update.
Yeah. No, it's true. I really haven't played a sports game other than NHL 14 for as many years as it's been since that came out. So over 10 years.
Well, I'm still every once in a while putting in the Sega and rocking NHL 94.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a classic.
Great one.
That's a classic game. I remember me and my friend used to play 94, 95, and 96 a lot. Mm-hmm. And 96 was it felt so much more advanced and polished than 94 did. But there was always something about 94 that brought us back to that.
Yeah, I can't explain that either. People still play 94 like tournaments and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. It really is. It's crazy. Citizen says best year for an NHL game was NHL 95 for the SNES. That was a good game. I loved 95. You'd be in season mode and trying to make trades or something with teams, and sometimes they would reject your trade.
I was a Genesis guy just because there wasn't as much of a color palette, but they were faster. Those games were butter smooth on the Genesis.
Those games were great. A lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They don't really deliver the same kind of arcade kind of experience anymore.
No, I miss arcade games. That's why I went back to the PS1 and stuff. Like, it's the last time they really had that nice balance of like simulation and arcade.
Yeah. No, Citizen, you couldn't make people bleed in 94. At least not the one that I played. You can make them bleed though in the one that came out before it, the year that came out before it, which was 93. I think. Yeah, it was just NHL PA hockey, I think.
So they cleaned up the bleeding and they gave you the one-timer. That's a fair trade.
Yeah, because you couldn't fight in 94, but you could fight and you could bleed and you could injure people in 93, which I think was just called NHL PA hockey. I'm pretty sure. But like you could get like Bob Probert in there, or Ty Domi, and just like punch people's lights out. Or you injure someone, you knock them flat, and like they're bleeding, and they're like on the ground. It's incredible.
Then you get Mutant League Hockey, where they just fall through the ice, and the silhouettes just floating in there.
One of the greatest games. How have they not updated Mutant League football or hockey? They did football.
They did football. Yeah, that's on Steam. You can get that. It's like 3D.
Okay.
It's nice, but I would like to have seen. I've got Mutant League Football for Sega. I love those games as they are, and I think that's like Madden 94, and maybe I think they're 94 engines that use those, and they're a lot of fun.
Oh man, loved the Mutant League games. Remember the cartoon?
Yeah, I do. As short-lived as it was.
Yeah, they just made anything into a cartoon at that point in time.
Yeah, they did. Well, shoot, I remember the Rambo cartoon, the RoboCop cartoon.
I was literally thinking that, the Rambo cartoon specifically.
Why we never got an Aliens cartoon, I have no idea. But
yeah, It's a crying shame, man. There was a point with cartoons where it was like it should be too much money for live action. So we'll just kind of tone it down like a little bit, and maybe we'll like throw in a dog or like a talking alien or something, and now it's a cartoon for kids.
No, the most surprising one was Toxic Crusader. Like, I remember that show. And I first saw the movies on Sci-Fi Channel when they cut all the like softcore porn, crazy weird crap out of it. And then I see the actual movie and I'm just like,
oh
what
yeah.
the heck is this?
The Trauma Pictures, man.
Oh
They
my
went
gosh.
full tilt.
And they turned it into a friggin' cartoon. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah. And it was a good fun cartoon with the toy line and everything.
Swamp Thing. That was another good. I used to watch that show, like the
live action show.
Yeah, with Dick Durek.
Yeah,
the swamp is my home.
That was a good
That's
show.
Such a good show. Yeah,
but yeah, it's crazy when it came to cartoons. They seemed like they would have adapted anything to a cartoon if they really could. It didn't really matter. And they just treated it like, here's your script. It could have been a live action script, but they felt like that would have been way too much money, or the effects just weren't there. Let's just make a cartoon out of it, and that'll be that.
Old Dirty Fatties.
We don't get that.
I can see Alien versus Predator cartoon in which friendship solves everything. No, I think they would need those great PSAs.
Yeah. Oh man.
Don't shoot acid at people. It's not polite.
Well, that's like what the new movie is now. The Disney's Predator, which they should just have the Disney logo on everything now. It should be like Disney's The Predator Badlands. That's going to be what that is. You know, you find a magical friend and you have friendships, and everything is fine.
Well, they did some marketing for that one where you might have seen it. Like the Predator was like rapping like Cardi B or Nicki Minaj or something like that. And I couldn't help it. They're like, yeah, marketing's back. I'm like, not for Predator. That's not the right marketing.
Oh man. See, this is why I don't know anymore. Is it because the stuff is bad and that's why people just keep talking about how bad it is, or is it because, you know, they'd rather not talk about the good stuff or whatever? I don't know, because I see stuff like that. I saw an announcement even today for and I don't know if the announcement came out today, but I saw it today, was for Gremlins, a third movie.
I think it was the last couple of days, yeah.
To come out, in 2027. And I'm excited for Zach Galligan. I hope he's in it because I like the dude. I worked with him a little bit when he was in The Chair. And he's a nice dude. And yeah, he's been trying to get a Gremlins 3 going for like 20 years. So I hope they actually include him. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't trust any modern Hollywood anything at this point. You know?
They're pulling out all the stuff. They got a Mummy movie coming.
Should be a slam dunk. Yeah. All this stuff should be a slam dunk. And every time I think, how could they screw that up? They find new and interesting ways to do.
They put TikTok and DreamWorks humor in it. That's what screws it up.
It's crazy. So yeah, I don't know. I see a lot of people wanting it not to be CGI, which obviously, you know, I think that's a big thing, but it's going to be probably.
Well, you know, my attitude is there's 100 years of movies to go look back on if you don't like what's going on right now. So.
Oh yeah, I got 2 other Gremlins movies to watch, and 100%. I probably won't see the third one, which is. It is.
I didn't see the second Beetlejuice. I heard it was, and I loved Beetlejuice as a kid. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see that either, and I really liked the first one. But everything I heard about it from people and everything I saw when I tried to convince myself it wasn't that bad. It was just things that didn't make sense to me, and being put in there, which was funny because I saw an interview when Winona Ryder had said that she didn't really agree with the way her character was, because she thought her character would be a spinster that never had kids and was kind of just like a medium, like a psychic medium, and was living in that house still. Alone, and that was what she envisioned that character would have been like. And she was like, I don't think that character would have had a kid. And I think I agree with that assessment, but unfortunately that whole thing turns odd. It kind of reminds me of what happens with Ghostbusters 2, giving Dana a kid.
Yeah.
and I felt like I don't think she would have had a kid. And I don't think she would have had a kid with a dude who like literally takes off when she's pregnant, basically still. And that just was weird and unnecessary. Even if they wanted to have a kid in there, you could have had like her niece or a nephew. You could have you didn't need a kid anyway, because it's kind of stupid with Vigo wanting to be a baby. Like, how easy would it be to kill a baby? You know, like if
Right.
this
Yeah,
dude
just let him go
comes
in there.
back, you know. So instead, and I love Ghostbusters too because it's got some nice moments.
It'd been an easy R, that movie, if that were
But-
the case. They just wait and then chop him.
Yeah, just let him go. in
No
the
problem.
baby.
We fixed it.
Don't
Who are
worry
you gonna
about it.
call?
Just leave the room for about 10 minutes. Anything you hear, don't worry about
It
it.
would be Egon that did it. Like, yes, I absolutely would get baby Hitler too. Egon, you're
Right?
weird.
Just zap that baby. But it would have been more interesting, I think, if they had that because the whole slime plot is really great in Ghostbusters 2, especially as an explanation for why New York City's so miserable, and that it augments the moods and it really feeds off of negative energy. But it would have been more interesting to see like the museum or other things coming to life.
Oh, they got to remake that movie now with the internet. Like, the Ghostbusters would lose. They would just lose.
Oh man, but yeah, it was. I there's moments about it I love, but the plot, I was always like, that
I
just
think
seems
time
like
has been kind to it, though.
yeah.
I really do. I think especially like with the
Oh
later
well, yeah.
Ghostbuster
Now
movies,
forget it.
like
Yeah,
that's pushed up its value.
it's like the Nickelback thing.
Right.
You know, the bar has come so much lower. It's been lowered far beyond what you possibly could have thought at the time. That now it's become like, it's not so bad. It's
Yeah,
not
you
so
could
bad.
take two of their songs. Most of them sound the same. It's like Green Day. Like, they got three kind of chords, and they just kind of like take those chords and like do the same thing for 9 albums. You know, but that's their style. You just listen to that and you go, that's a Green Day song, all right. Offspring. A lot of those guys that have been around for 40 years.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, they just listened to the Ramones a lot and then
Oh,
decided,
yeah.
you know, hey, if they could just do that, why not
This
us?
song needs some more woes in it.
Yeah, that's all that really is. But yeah, with Ghostbusters 2, I had rewatched it the other day, and I'm like, there's some good stuff here, but it really feels like they went into like every direction they could have went down instead of focusing. And what I think needs to happen is we have to stop adapting things to movies so much and realize that there's some things that could really be great just as shows.
Yeah.
You know, now we're going into like shows used to have like 30 episode seasons. Remember that? The people used to actually work when they made these shows. Now
I
it's
wouldn't
like,
mind if just you had some special stuff that didn't become a franchise. Like, this is an amazing movie. Protect this movie. We'll re-release it over and over and over again in anniversary specials and special editions and 4K and 8K and 10K. But just let it stay where it is. And don't become The Howling. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, well, you know. So now it's like everything's 6 to 10 episodes. More than that seems
Euro
to be
style, yeah.
a longer
We gave up
style
our 22,
season,
23 episode.
right?
seasons.
Yeah. But it'd be great now to see like
Of course, they're more
Ghostbusters,
expensive.
a good live action Ghostbusters TV show would be awesome. You could just even adapt a bunch of the episodes from the animated series and expound upon them or whatever. But it's stuff like that. I mean, again, with modern sensibilities and stuff, I don't trust it anymore. But it's one of those things where I look at it and think specifically when it comes to the comic book franchises that there are.
Yeah.
It'd be better to just shift away a lot from the movies, maybe get back into animated series, maybe get back into doing live action shows that with characters that people were really into as well, not just kind of like a side-ish character and give them a show and it's just really on this one platform and whatever.
It would
But
help
again,
if the safety was taken off. I mean, if things were made cheaper so you could try different things. I don't watch a lot of the movies, but I'll credit like Blumhouse. They do a lot of different crap. Some of it works, some of it doesn't, but they're all low budget movies. So they make their budget back in a weekend just off of curiosity.
Yeah,
I
isn't
think
it like
that's how it should be
10 or
done.
15 million or whatever it is per
Usually,
movie?
yeah, it's not much, and they just try weird off the wall stuff, and sometimes they come up with classics like The Conjuring or Insidious or that kind of thing, and then they pump sequels like Hammer. It's Hammer or Universal or whatever. But I mean, they can do that because it doesn't. I think you get like 6 movies before it starts to show any kind of fatigue and doesn't make any money. And I think if everybody on the whole did that, you could have a lot more chances, try things out like it used to be. Like Ghostbusters, I doubt Ghostbusters would be made today because it would be like, where's the audience for this? Is this a comedy? Is this horror? What is this? We don't know who to market this to. And it would just be dead on arrival. The Thing wouldn't be made today. Half of those
Ghostbusters was tough enough to try to get made back then.
Right. But I mean, like half the movies that we love, RoboCop probably wouldn't be made today. It sounds stupid. Dead on arrival. Like they took chances back then and we got some great stuff. Now it's all done by committee and by like social media and like test screenings and homogenized. Yeah. There's lists of like, you have to have all of this crap in here. And that just turns every movie into the same, which is why I don't watch an incredible amount of newer movies anymore. Because I watch one a year maybe, and then I've seen them all, basically. Yeah. So I go backwards. I've been watching a lot of movies from the 40s and 50s and 60s lately.
Oh yeah. Lots of great stuff that you probably never had the time or even the inkling to want to see that have been out for so long. I mean, I'm the same way right now. I'm catching a lot of stuff from like the 70s and even more obscure stuff from the 80s that I had missed out on.
Yeah.
And just kind of traveling through an actor's career. Like last year, me and my wife were going through a lot of stuff that Rutger Hauer did. And we discovered like 10 different movies that were great that we never realized were around. And they're all in like Tubi and whatever else because it's all this more kind of C-list level movie. But they're all great, and they'll have people in them that know how to act and how to actually get a character through. And
that dude must have had the worst agent ever because he was a great actor. Somehow always found himself in some of the worst movies, or they were good movies, but they were badly marketed, like Citizen Ronan points out, Blind Fury. If you look at the poster for that, it looks like a National Lampoon's movie or something like that.
Yeah. There's one, I forget the name of it now, but there's one he's in with like Craig T. Nelson, and it's like some kind of drama, political thriller type of thing. There's like a couple layers baked into it. And that was pretty good. There's another one that it's not a Rutger Hauer movie, but it's from the 70s, and it's a great werewolf movie. And I know we're past the Halloween season, but you can watch that stuff whenever you want. You don't have to just watch it in October. But it's called The Beast Must Die. You ever see that?
No, I haven't seen that one. I've seen a bunch of his weird
movies.
Movies.
Peter Cushing is in it. Rutger Hauer's not in it, but Peter Cushing is in it.
Cushing's awesome.
And there's a couple other, like, you'll recognize them as soon as you see them, kind of actors in there. And that one's great. It's basically like the plot of like The Most Dangerous Game, but with the werewolf twist. And then there's like a twist among the twists. It's really good. It's fun. There's a lot of strong characters, a lot of strong actors, and just a really solid movie.
I just discovered a Peter Cushing movie that I haven't seen yet. I'm going to watch it. I got it on Blu-ray. It's called Cash on Demand. Basically, he's a bank teller, and this guy comes in and says, "Hey, you don't help us knock over this bank, we're going to kill your whole family, which we have hostage." And he's got to kind of do it on the down low. It sounds phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nighthawks was like Rutger Hauer. Like if you haven't seen The Hitcher, he was legendary in that movie. But that's just great. It kind of like fell into cult status, and everybody talks about Blade Runner, and it's like he did a lot of movies on that level, but the movies themselves sucked. Kelly put everything into whatever he did, but didn't phone anything in.
I'm gonna look it up. I think there was this one. Let me see. I want to get the name right.
Weird Dracula 3, where he played Dracula for a little. He was pretty dang good. It's like a Castlevania kind of thing almost.
Because there's Split Second.
Split Second, that one where he's like fighting Venom.
Yeah.
Basically.
He's like future Punisher fighting Venom, basically. And friggin' entertaining as all hell.
I
mean,
remember just seeing that as a kid. And like, what am I
92,
watching?
yeah.
Yep.
Great, just fun movie. And I had caught that on Tubi like a year or two ago.
Oh, the 90s was great for that kind of thing. Just, I mean, the early, because the VHS market was, really getting going, and they needed that stuff. So you get stuff like I Come in Peace or Dark Angel. You remember that one? You ever see that?
Dolph Lundgren?
Heck yeah. And that dude that was in From Martin being the comedy relief. That was a great freaking movie.
That was great.
And you'd think like Drug Dealers from Space. It sounds really stupid.
That's the one. He's like sucking the whatever it is, the that hormone chemical, whatever it is, that and they get high off of it.
Yep. And it's I Come in
He's
Peace.
just like injecting like right in the
but you go in
head
pieces. Yeah, that was a great time.
And we should be like littered with this stuff right now because of streaming, And
Well, you find a lot on Tubi, but like their commercials are insane now.
I just mean like being made new.
Oh yeah, no, it's true.
Because all of that was a lot of it was anyway direct to VHS and whatever.
That's where Full Moon Features got really big.
Even TV movies, man, were entertaining. Like that was like usually the place where a lot of thrillers and stuff would exist.
Kolchak, born out of TV movies.
Yeah, so many of them were so great. I don't know, man.
I miss it. Yeah, they don't. I think. No, I couldn't tell you what's going on TV right now. I tend to buy a bunch of old Blu-ray sets, complete series and stuff, and just kind of binge on those and listen to the special features and the commentaries while I'm drawing and stuff like that. And I can't even tell you what shows are really going on much right now.
Oh yeah, I couldn't tell you either. Anytime I ever tune into the TV, let me see. The last time I tuned into the TV, we don't have cable. We haven't had cable in a really long time.
Right.
We have an antenna. And the antenna only picks up maybe like 30 stations or something.
Mm-hmm.
But a couple of the stations that I used to, those were my go-to Saturday morning for cartoons. I was a Saturday morning. I was up at like 8 in the morning. And I'm like, what the hell is on at 8 in the morning on these stations where I used to just be glued for like 3 to 4 hours? And it's just news and infomercials.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. After like, gosh, I remember, what was it? Mid 2000s, early 2000s, you'd be watching after like 10 or 11, it'd be like Girls Gone Wild infomercials. And then it would be some random, like trying to sell you some type stuff. And then it would pretty much be nothing. Just garbage until, who was it? There was one, 70. You ever see Dr. Mordred?
Yeah. The one that was basically supposed to be Doctor Strange,
Doctor
right?
Strange. How good was Jeffrey
Combs, right?
Combs in that, yeah.
Yeah. That was fun. That's a fun one. Man. Because even though a lot of these, I mean, speaking of movies that aren't really good, but are amazing. I had on Troll 2 today.
Oh my goodness. I haven't thought about that one in a while.
Oh man, that's like up there. That's like top echelon of so bad it's good kind of a thing. You can't replicate that with the sincerity that they pulled it off.
Yeah,
the delivery of lines, like the kid's talking to his grandfather who's a ghost or whatever, and he's like, you can't have them eat the food, and he's like, you got to think about something to do. And then they suggest that the kid pisses all over the food. And so they cut away as the kid's like about to unzip, and he's on top of the table ready to piss all over the food. That's poison food's going to turn his family into like troll people. And the next scene, like the dad's like taking him, and everyone's like cleaning off and being like, oh, it's disgusting, it smells so bad. And the dad's taking him upstairs, and he's like, we don't piss on hospitality.
That's been a rule in this house since day one.
Yeah.
Well, that's like what, late 80s, early 90s. Maybe it was Child's Play that did it. I don't know, but there was like a weird time when everybody was stuck in apartment buildings with monsters because they had like the first Troll, they had Critters 3, they had, it was just like,
Critters
we don't
great.
got a budget. Let's just stick them in an apartment complex, and they won't be able to get out. And then of course Dread did it way later with a higher budget, but
It's incredible how many things there are when you really start to look back.
Yeah.
And just how damn entertaining they were. And if they weren't entertaining and they were that level above, that it hit harder than just being a good way to spend an hour and a half or whatever. The iconic stuff that now is pilfered.
It's just
Like,
swinging for the fences back
oh
then.
yeah, there's so many characters and stories now that are being pilfered, like Scrooge's estate when he passes and everyone's just kind of tearing his stuff apart and stealing it and making fun of him.
Right.
It's like that with so many things now.
Yeah.
Where you can almost like picture the boardroom and they're like, yeah, and we'll take this franchise, but we'll really not make it anything like what it was. But we'll still make money because they can't help but go to it. You know, it's like mustache twirling lunacy.
Back in the day, you get a feeling they wrote the scripts with like dartboards. Like, okay, we got clowns, they kill people, they're from outer space. Okay, we got our movie. Let's go do it.
Yeah, it's like they give everybody the bingo card, and they're just like taking out the bingo ball, and they're like, all right, who's got superhero? And they're like, all right, put superhero down. Okay, another one comes out. All right, who's got gay character? Okay, gay character. Put that down.
It's like that scene from Cabin in the Woods. I don't know if
and
you've seen
whoever,
that one.
Yeah, whenever the bingo pops up, they're like, that's the movie we make next. Here we go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, and I like that. I'm sure they've got to be still doing that kind of thing somewhere.
Oh,
maybe,
yeah.
But I haven't seen them in a while.
It's crazy. Yeah,
but you know
really
what? We're
is.
living in a time where like we've got these these companies like Arrow Video, Kino Lorber, Criterion. What was the other one? Shout Factory and Scream Factory. Yeah, they're like really putting together these beautiful collector editions, getting these amazing prints that you've never seen these crappy movies look better in your whole life. And then they're getting all kinds of cool special features and stuff, and like artwork on the thing. It's a great time to be like a weird movie collector.
Yeah,
right now
it's awesome, absolutely awesome. And that's the thing is for people, I guess, like ourselves that are kind of tuned out to the new stuff. There's so much old stuff that you could spend the rest of your life trying to dig through it, whether it's movies, music, shows, comics.
Yep.
You'll never get through all of it.
No. But, it's nice to still try.
Yeah.
Make new stuff.
Yeah. That's the thing, So do you have as someone who, I guess, I mean, I don't want to say that you're slightly outside of some of this stuff.
You just did it.
But I'm going to say it, and you can tell me whether I'm correct or incorrect.
Okay. Yep.
But how do you see us navigate out of this? Is there a way to navigate out of this? Is there a way to not necessarily get back to the way it was? Because that's not happening, because that's not how things work. A bygone era is a bygone era. But what do you think, in your estimation, is the best path to navigate away from the current way of whatever and get to a better place?
Well, geez, I don't know. I think about this sometimes. I think that, there needs to be more, in terms of bigger entertainment, there need to be more of those like cigar chewing executives that don't really know what the heck is going on. So they just say, well, stick it out there and see if it works. You know what I mean? Versus the kind of newer guys that are like, I know what the kids want these days. And then they lose $100 million on their project because they're really stupid and they don't know what's going on. Like, I do think that, like, it's like people complain about basketball being really boring now. It's like, maybe change the rules back to 1994, 1993, when it was a little more physical and tough and people wanted to watch it. Like, maybe that would fix things. Like, you can go and cry, or you can get up and you can play harder. Maybe that would make it more exciting. And maybe that would, because I hear that NBA and the NFL, and I don't know about NHL, but like the viewership is way down because it's boring and it's kind of coddled and stuff like that. And I think movies are the same way. They're homogenized, and you kind of want to, that's what I love about comics, right? You've got one or two people, they have complete control. And sometimes the ideas are a little too out there. and nobody buys them, but you get to see what, nobody else is thinking of that stuff. And sometimes that's where like diamonds come from. Somebody comes in and they have this idea and they carry it out themselves with their vision, their style, their type of writing style. It's not like anybody else. I'm sure there've been a lot of properties where if one guy did it and it's amazing, another dude totally does it and it just wouldn't work. Rob Geronimo with Blood Realm, if somebody else did that book, it might not work. But it's 100% him. And that's that when you meet him and you see it and you go, I get it. And it's great. And he doesn't have any real like guards on it. Like,
we almost need to get back to a way. And I mean, maybe crowdfunding is probably the closest thing that we could get to this, where it's this patron and artist kind of relationship sort of thing. But I'm surprised that more, I don't know, more well-known or veteran type people that are in these industries don't utilize that more often, to kind of cut out the middleman of whatever and get creative about it, and then put their stuff out and put it before the audience and say, let's see what the audience wants.
I think an unthought about problem of crowdfunding is just the fact that, they say that nothing's original anymore, but you can take something that seems like something and then you read it and you're like, this is totally different than what I thought. But if you've only got like 1 or 2 pages and you show that, a lot of the audience is just going to write it off as like, well, that's a Batman ripoff. That's a Skyrim ripoff. Wow, that's just, whatever. That's a Night of the Living. They've been reading Walking Dead, and then they actually get the book and they go, well, this is absolutely nothing like what I thought it was going to be. And that's, without that finished product to be able to say, hey, this is wherever you think it's going, totally wrong. Of course, when they're saying that in marketing, it's just talk. Because you're going to hear a lot of, this is the best book you've ever read. This is going to revolutionize the entire industry. And then you read it and you're like, not quite there yet.
There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype. I when I was taking a lot of submissions back a couple of years ago, I would get a lot of hype in the submissions.
Yeah,
a lot of people, like, it was always someone's going to revolutionize something, or this is going to really appeal to producers or Hollywood or all this. Like, these were things that I immediately when I read that, I would just be like, that's it. Nope, don't need to see any more of this.
I avoid that kind of marketing at all costs because I think the reader is going to decide if they like it. It's great to them. I mean, you could say, oh, it's great because I made it. That's not going to mean anything to anybody. But if you got a whole group of people saying, holy crap, look at this book. This is free. Look at this panel. This is insane. You got to read this book. Now, that's where you can, kind of get sort of a sense of how good it is. But I wouldn't personally go on and say, this is so good. You got to read it. It's just so dang good because, like, you get a bunch of people that read it and they all say this kind of sucks. So that kind of loses a little bit of trust. It's for other people. It's for other people to say if it's good entertainment or not.
You make your story. You describe what it's about,
right?
And you try to do so in an exciting or interesting way,
right?
And
I would certainly caution against. I mean, I never do it, but I would certainly caution against saying something like, it's like Ghost with Patrick Swayze meets, the Music Man, but with Nightmare on Elm Street mixed in, something like that. I would rather just kind of like pull in the story and say, this is what I got. I know now y'all want that book. Never mind. It's not happening.
What kind of unholy creation have you made?
Top of my head stuff right there. That's
like a picture is Freddy Krueger behind Demi Moore making that clay pottery wheel with a brass band playing behind him.
Heck yeah. But
it's like a fever dream.
That's right. And it might be a little too out there right now, but in 10 to 15 years it'll hit. No, I don't
Just you wait and see.
I think that puts an expectation and sort of a puts it in a box. If you take two things that you think it's supposed to be and like mash them together. I feel like that is you know what that is? That is the homage cover of pitches. Is what that is. You know, everybody uses those covers, and it's like that doesn't have anything to do with this. Don't make your own.
It's such a Hollywood pitch, you know, and it's like this short attention span Hollywood pitch of people who get intimidated by hearing what a story's actually about. So they're like, tell me what it's sort of like that's already existed, and I'll let you know.
Well, you know, you look at like the Iron Giant, heck of a classic movie, timeless. And Brad Bird, he pitched that movie by saying, like, what if a gun had a soul and didn't want to be a gun? There's no, oh man, this is War of the Worlds meets, you know, like that. It's just a very, and I guess to hear him tell the story, everybody was like, whoa, hold on. Would you say that again? Say that again for a second. Write that down, you know, kind of thing. You get that one like sentence posing a question. Maybe if you can pose it as a question, that's awesome, because then the artist or the reader can, or the listener can kind of decide, like, I'd like the answer to that, or, you know, something. But I tend to shy away from comparing it to other people's works if I'm doing it.
Yeah. I always advise against that.
Don't say it's the best thing ever, and don't pull from other people's stuff to market your stuff. I think makes it a little bit more personable.
And never believe your own hype. And so many people do that.
Right. Well, on the internet, when everybody's, you know, you're surrounded by yes men, it's pretty easy to do that. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
Insulate yourself.
Because there's that difference between confidence. And if you're actually confident, you just kind of say what your story's about. And then you let the audience decide how they like it or not like it, how they receive it or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're arrogant about it, you kind of do the chest puffing thing.
Yeah.
And you know, the louder makes you writer kind of a strategy for your marketing. And once you start going that way, it just gets really weird and awkward, and it's just you gotta be confident enough to be like, hey, if you don't like it, that's cool. You know, maybe it's not your thing.
I truly think that comic books have taken a back seat to everything else for so long that they genuinely have forgotten how to market them. You know, I mean, it's like usually comics are like used to like make a movie or like a series of like freaking young adult novels or plushies or action figures or, you know, like shirts, things like that. They're thinking merchandise with comics. And, you know, we used to have publishing houses like Marvel and DC used to be putting comics first, and that's when everybody loved them because their best interest was creating stories that people wanted to buy. Now they're owned by you know, giant corporations that just kind of hey, put something out to keep that IP ours.
Yep.
And we're gonna take all this crap and we're gonna mine through 70 years to make a you know, Frankenstein a TV show, like the CW did. You know, they mined from all that stuff and they take like the freaking Turtle or something like that and use them in the Flash. Change them up and stuff, but I mean, I'm sure that was a lot of that was just keeping the IP. You know, we use it so that we can keep it, and it's a great way to do it. But you know, it seems like most people are trying to get Netflix stuff, and people aren't doing comics just to do comics. There's not a lot of interest because of it. You know, if these corporations wanted to put comics at the forefront and they wanted to make it a trend and they wanted to make people love it, they could, because they gather together all the time for best interests. You know, they all have like different projects that are very similar that come out and all of a sudden everybody wants, you know, deep sea stuff or something like that. They could do that, but there aren't a lot of like straight comic book publishing houses anymore. They're either bigger book publishers, which comics are a tiny little wing that who cares about, or they are part of corporations. What do you got left? You got, I mean, like Dark Horse is close, but that went kind of multi, like doing movies and things like that from their stuff. Netflix poaches stuff all the time, and Mark Miller works pretty much exclusively for them. I don't think I know of an incredible amount of where it's just about comics. That you got to go to Japan for that. A lot of times they're very much like, this is what we do. We'll figure the other stuff later, but the very core of what we have to do is get books out because people are, you know, reading them on the subway or what have you. provide entertainment. We provide comics, and we don't do that anymore. And I
No.
think that
Yeah,
that's
we don't.
why they've taken such a back seat. Partly why.
It's a
It's run by people that are embarrassed of what they do.
largely, yeah. Yeah. And there's some that aren't, but man, it's overwhelming the amount of people that are in this kind of industry. It's tough even calling it industry sometimes. Because they think it's going to lead to something else.
Conglomeration
And
of
something
hobbies.
better is what they would, say.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
And
a stepping
that's
stone.
yeah. And that right there is so strange. It is such a strange industry because it is this weird little island where you don't want to go there, but you have to go there if you want to get to the main land, and you're going to get lost along the way, and you're probably going to hate your time on the island.
Right.
And honestly, you're probably not going to make it to the mainland because most people probably just don't, because they just don't survive on the island. And that's going to be how it is. And that's comics. It's like this island called comics. And it's a strange place because it doesn't need to be that way. But for some reason, it's been relegated to that for the better part of maybe 30 years or so.
I'd say at least since Warner bought DC.
Oh, so even longer than that.
Yeah, gotta
If
be.
you're
I mean, that's
talking
when they
about
really
that.
started kind of, for a while you had, your Batman, your Superman, but I mean, like, they started to really use it for other things. They bought them for the logos. Superman, I mean, you probably heard this. Superman is the most recognized logo behind the cross worldwide. That's number
Wow,
2.
I'd never heard of that, but
Yeah,
wow.
so that Superman was never the best-selling book. It's not even all that popular, to tell you the truth. But that logo,
No,
is worth billions of dollars, even more so than Batman.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's this really strange kind of industry. And it's odd how it's never really managed to fully branch out the way they want it to and maintain growth and legitimacy at the source point.
Well, I mean,
So
even here on YouTube, like a lot of places, it's almost like the comic book is like a end of season finale product. Like, that's, you have your cycles with your comic, and then that comes out and a new season starts. And that's, a lot of it is used. Some use the YouTube to drive the book, but quite a few people use the book to drive the YouTube. And I think that scale is tipped to where that's the majority, which is why you'd cycle out the reading audience with the people that get that instant gratification, and maybe back the book just to keep the show going. And that's another reason I kind of maybe stepped away and wanted to focus more on art. I felt like I was plateauing while I was streaming, so I needed to cut off and go find some new stuff to look at, to inject into my art, to push it a little further, at least develop a second style so that I could have, 2 different ways of going.
yeah. No, I mean, what's really strange about it, because I legitimately like having conversations with people that can have a conversation, which is
Right.
rare nowadays too. But it's one of those things where a lot of people put up a YouTube or just even get on social media in general because they think they have to. And then when they think they have to, they come up with like a persona or a presence or,
Like Statistical Zero,
whatever, and then they run with that. And then they're like, that's my identity there.
My brand. Yeah.
And that's my brand. And and then all of a sudden you make content. You don't make art. You don't make stories.
I hate content.
You don't even make videos. You make
word.
content.
I don't. That's a very broad. I don't love that. When I first heard content creator, it kind of gave me a shiver down my spine. Like, it's just so, like, generic.
Yeah, when I picture content, especially content creator, I picture the equivalent of someone just like gorging on crap. Because they're like, I have to eat and see things.
There's nothing wrong with
And it's like, man, it's just this
Nothing wrong with
gluttonous
like
system.
somebody that does something that branches out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you're a cartoonist or a writer, and then maybe you do a little something extra, talk about fishing or something like that.
Yeah.
There's
But
nothing wrong with
people
that. Doesn't
don't
mean you're
even
not a cartoonist.
they don't even talk about that they make videos. They make content.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's a weird detachment.
Maybe it sounds more professional. I don't know.
It sounds mechanical.
It does.
You know? Like
it's a dump all. Like instead of saying, like Alterna Comics, you might say Alterna Entertainment.
It's
or
like
something so that you can get it
yeah.
all in there.
It's like a way that an AI would fail the Turing test. You know, it being like, what do you call this? And they're like, content. And you're like, yeah, you're a friggin' robot. Of course you would say that. It's like a dead giveaway. Where anyone else would be like, it's a picture, it's a painting, it's a video, it's a story. You know, you're like, it's content.
I suppose that's a product of having to wear multiple hats. Like vaudeville, right? I used to call like this kind of thing vaudeville, like the streaming, where if you weren't grabbing them by the first couple of minutes, they were gone. Maybe booing you off the set, kind of thing. You have to be a song and dance man. You got to be able to juggle.
Bring
You got to be able
to with the hook on it and just grab you off the stage.
You got to be able to do multiple things to kind of satisfy multiple people to build audiences these days. Most people don't get by on just one thing, unless you're one of those people that like blog about having a cabin. Then you can get away with it because
that's the ironic thing.
Yeah.
It's like everything in life. When you really try so hard, so if you're really trying to get an audience, you're trying to do the best video you can do, and you're putting so much effort into it, and you're doing all these things that are just not natural to you in any way, shape, or form. You struggle a lot. It's like if you go
thing that gets viral.
Yeah, like if you're trying to like meet friends or a significant other or whatever, and you're going on dates, and you're like, what's the best way I can have a successful date? I know, not be myself.
Yeah, that'll win them over every time.
And so you have all this awful luck, and eventually you get to a point where you kind of just don't care anymore, and you start to become more comfortable in your own skin.
That's when you're drowning in women.
That's when you start to all of a sudden go, oh, people like that. That's weird, and that's when you start leaning into what is actually you and what you're comfortable with and what you like and what you want to talk about and what you gravitate towards. All of a sudden people start gravitating towards you, and it's not everybody that will, but it's the right people that will, and it's a good enough amount of people that usually will, and that's usually how that goes. But it's a weird place when people are in this zone of feeling like they have to be something that they're not in order to get an audience, only to constantly feel like that really isn't the audience they want. But that's the reason why they're not getting the audience they want, is because they're never actually being the person they are.
Well, Citizen Ronan says I could be Statty Davis Jr.
Yeah,
I can come in here and be like, hello, Peter. How are you today? And then start singing and tap dancing. I suppose I could do that.
We could do that. Sure.
That's the saddest thing about getting older. You get some great impressions and then you do them and nobody knows what they are anymore.
I know. Oh, no.
When I grew up, I was watching Nick at Night and stuff like that. And no kid knew what the heck I was talking about. They were always watching Barney and it's a hard life, man.
You're like Babaloo. Yeah. And they're like, what are you talking about? What's this kid?
To the moon. What? I love that. Yeah, I'd watch horror movies when I was a little kid, and like all those old movies, Three Stooges, black and white stuff. All these kids they didn't know what the heck I was talking. I couldn't have a conversation with them. I'd have conversations with the teachers.
Yeah. Well,
what? You know what that is? You know Flip Wilson? You know Red Fox? Yeah.
What gravitated you towards that?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it was the characters. Just
yeah.
It was funny. When you watch Lucy, even as a kid, she's funny. And the neighbor in The Honeymooners, he's funny. It's slapstick. Most kids laugh at slapstick. I grew up with the Three Stooges and all that stuff. I always had this weird habit of watching the either least popular or weirdest installment first of pretty much anything. Like first Godzilla versus Megalon, first Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Oh, that's rough.
I think first Superman movie I was 4. Like I came in at the lowest point of every installment.
And no way to go but up.
That's right. So it's, but I always loved the old stuff. I always gravitated the old stuff. I was listening to the Rat Pack when I was, like a kid. Most kids wouldn't sit still for that kind of thing. I always loved it. My movie collection spans, I think, from 1914 all the way to now, and my music collection goes, all the way back to the Victorian. Like listen to classical and stuff.
Well,
all the way up to now. Like I really like just being a history guy. Like that's entertainment's part of history.
Oh, totally.
Oh, Jaws 4. Yeah, that was the first Jaws movie I saw too. Oh, 100%.
Could it be because I'm guessing you saw these on TV?
100%. Yep.
Yeah, that's probably why.
I watch them on TNT and TBS, Monster Vision, and that kind of thing. 100%.
Yeah.
That was Up All Night. That's 100% right. Yep. I got to quit saying 100%. Up All Night and Monster Vision were my jam when I was.
That could be like your tagline. Every great
100%.
Character needs a tagline. 100%.
But yeah, I remember watching Rhonda Shear and Gilbert Godfrey, and then Billy Bob, or Joe Bob Briggs on Monster Vision stuff. Those were so friggin' good. You stay up really late and watch those. Like that was special. I wish we still had that, but
that's classic stuff.
Yeah,
it's weird. Now we have more channels than ever before, or so I've heard, because I don't have cable. But my in-laws do. And anytime we're over there, all they're watching is stuff they could get on an antenna. and I'm always like, you could save like $2,000 a year if I just gave you this $30 antenna. And they're in a better spot to get antenna TV than me. In New Hampshire, there's no local station that you could pick up with an antenna. So we're getting Maine, and then a couple Massachusetts stations.
Stephen King country, huh?
Yeah, so we're not getting any New Hampshire-based stuff, but they're in a prime spot where they get an antenna. They would get a bunch of stuff that they watch and pay out the nose for, but they have like the highest cable package you could have. They don't watch anything other than like broadcast channels. So we go over there, and when we're looking around, because they're like, "Oh, did you want to see something?" So they start channel surfing. And I'm looking at the stuff that pops up, and between the endless stations that will just have a marathon of stuff that's like How I Met Your Mother or whatever, and then the other stations that'll just have things that I'm looking at. I'm like, that's free on Tubi, that's free on Pluto, that's free on Tubi. It's insane. It's insane. So many channels, and yet the content is not
free
there.
Streaming has come light years from what it was even a few years ago. You got like Pluto TV. It's got a million channels in and of itself, and Tubi, insane. And it's awesome. Except, if you don't like commercials, which I got to be honest, like I don't spend as much time on the internet just because of commercials. I'm so tired of like
the only
commercial breaks.
Yeah, the only commercials I can't stand that piss me off, other than political ones, are pharmaceutical ads.
Oh yeah. Daytime TV, full of that kind of stuff.
Oh, how many times do you got to hear about the side effects and cancer? I
like when the side effects are like, it's like a full 4 or 5 seconds, and I know that seems like really, really fast, but when they're listing that crap off, it's
sometimes
like eternity.
Sometimes it's like 20 to 30 seconds of side effects, and then they'll end it with and then they'll end it with like you got to go to a website to see more of the side effects.
I keep on thinking that it's the Umbrella Corporation that's putting this crap out, but
yeah, it's craziest stuff. And like you said, it's a lot of the time like something for eczema or whatever, and crazy side effects.
It seems like everywhere is trying to sell you something. You know what I mean? Like you go onto a stream, and usually, I mean, now they're trying to sell you a book, and then if you've got like you're watching like some music, listen to some music videos on YouTube. Every 1 to 2 things you've got commercials. You got to sit and hit skip, or you got to sit through them. everywhere seems to have commercials, and I just kind of I like reading regular books just for that reason, where it's just like, there's your book. Watching a Blu-ray, there's no commercials. There's your movie. You know, that you got me. I bought the Blu-ray. Now you don't need to sell me anything more.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's another reason I don't keep any kind of technology in my room, because it's just like, that's where books are. That's where that's a no selling me crap zone sort of thing. And I mean, you know, like, I like streams like this where people just sit and talk about stuff or process things or whatever like that for a long time, and there is no real selling of things. I've gotten tired, Pete. Tired.
Yeah. I mean, everything is advertising in some way, shape, or form.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Mm.
Yeah. Old Dirty says, I like watching AIDS prep drugs commercials back to back to back. Everything. You ever see Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Oh, long time ago.
Okay, so remember at the end when they have that crazy weird floor show thing, and they're all dressed up like it's a burlesque act, and they're all dancing around. Someone needs to take that scene and then just incorporate, you know, side effects may include, and just rattle off, because that's what all these freaking drug commercials look like now. Jeff says they're always dancing. Yeah, it looks like the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the end when they're all just dancing around in like their burlesque outfits. And it's just like, start listing off the side effects of whatever drug it might be.
You get that after the side effects, you get that happy jingle.
Yeah, anything to, you know, to distract you, I suppose, because you see all these ridiculous scenes of things that obviously have nothing to do with the horrible things that they're saying.
Very dystopian. Like, you know, you got all this stuff and it's terrible. It's like, take your medicine or else.
Yeah. If you don't want to die, take this pill today.
Yeah.
And if you do, you'll wish you were dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, fantastic. Now back to our program.
Yeah.
And then there's people out there that are like, what are you talking about? Like, question the pharmaceutical industry?
You know what? I'd be in favor of working the commercials into the show like they did with radio shows. Like back in the day. They would work
even early
I would
TV.
Like that.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, where you could be like
that
scene from The Shadow with Alec Baldwin where they just stop and compliment his tie and ask him where he got it. That's a lovely tie you're wearing. Is that Midtown? Yeah, it's Brooks Brothers in Maine. Midtown? Yes, you're a psycho. And then they get back in. Such a great scene in the movie. It's my favorite scene in the movie.
Or even old TV. Like, we watch Car 54 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes before and also sometimes after the show ends, you get the voiceover. It's usually Fred Gwynn, Herman Munster, who's Muldoon on the show.
Sometimes the dad is better left dead.
Yeah, it's usually him talking about like soap or something, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And all I could think is, this is brilliant advertising. 50, 60, whatever years later, I'm still hearing about Tide from, you know, the show, because they built it into the beginning.
Of course, back then, you know, it was a little bit different with the advertisements. It's like,
oh yeah,
want to make your man happy, get Tide and clean his clothes like that.
Well, this was, you know, tasteful enough. It was literally just telling you what the product did.
Yeah, this stuff is really good, and it'll clean your clothes right.
It was like that scene in what is it, Muppets Take Manhattan, when Kermit goes to become an ad exec, when he gets hit by the car and can't remember who he is, and he stumbles into the advertising agency, and they can't come up with something to sell the soap. And they're coming up with the most ridiculous taglines. And he's like, what about Ocean Breeze Soap makes you clean? And they're like, Ocean Breeze Soap makes you clean? That's incredible.
I miss the Muppets as they were. I never did watch their newer season where they tried to make it like The Office.
Yeah, I never saw that. The commercials for it.
It didn't last long at all. But I think I remember the last time I watched them, that when Disney Channel tried their first go was The Muppets Tonight. I think the only episode I remember is when Pierce Brosnan was on, and he dressed as a giant crab or a giant lobster or whatever, and they all had guns and they're like holding the place up, and he's all like, "Let me kill him first," and he's, "No, I want to kill him. Aren't you being a little shellfish?" Yeah, wait, we don't make puns about ourselves. And then he pulls a clock and hits him. Like, it was weird crap, but. Yeah, last movie I think I remember seeing was Muppets from Space.
Wow.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I saw those, but I can never get into post-Henson Muppets.
Yeah. Of
It's
course.
just, yeah.
I don't know. I watched their
Even
old
when I was a
shows, and
kid.
it was like Saturday Night Live, where you had 3 really brilliant sketches, and then there was a few of them that were just like go right over your head because they were of the time.
Muppets Tonight? Is that what you're
Yeah, or
talking
no,
about?
the old the Muppet Show from the 70s.
Oh, the Muppet Show.
Kind of go like,
I love the
huh.
Muppet Show.
And then it'd be some great stuff, and then another, huh. I did that with Saturday Night Live. I'm like, I bought this. This is going to be great. I remember seeing a bunch of these. It's hilarious. And then I watched it, like 2/3 of it was like, I guess you had to, really be around when Ford and like Jimmy Carter were around to think that's funny. Like,
well, nothing ages faster than political humor.
Oh, 100%.
But
there it is again.
Yeah, I love the
Chat, take a drink every time I say 100%.
I'm
gonna kill your audience.
Soon you're going to be making pins and stickers and hats and shirts. 100%.
Well, I got an emoji I use all the time.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I just Muppet Show. I love Muppet Show. That I think it had 5 seasons, and the one with Adam West, that one's great. Then they had one with Christopher Reeve was on it.
Yeah,
that was awesome too. There's a lot of good ones. Raquel Welch was on one, and that was awesome because in the intro part,
there's some racier jokes being told then too.
Yeah, she wants to be all not sexed up and everything, and she's reading a book, and she's doing very intellectual things and being like, I want to change my image, and you see like 5 of them off to the side, with them kind of like with their tongues out, being like, please, do these things, like dance sexy and whatever, and it's just like,
I think the second episode was called Sex and Violence.
The pilot.
The pilot was
was called that. It was yep. It was Sex and Violence, and they wanted to be more subversive with it. And Muppets were always kind of subversive in their own way.
Back when Sesame Street was for like rebels.
Yeah, even that pilot was hilarious.
They had last time I saw Sesame Street, they had a trigger warning on there. If you can believe it, from the 70s, they had the sticker said, "This might not jive with current parental standards." I couldn't believe my eyes. Couldn't believe it. Sesame Street.
Wow.
Gotta be careful when you watch it. Don't let your kids watch this unsupervised.
Unreal.
It's from the 70s.
Well, now that's why I went to HBO, right?
Right. Right. I mean, I get Tom and Jerry. I understand that one. But they usually just put a thing on the back. Says this is for adult collectors now. But Sesame Street, that's a hard one to justify.
I think all of that stuff is so unnecessary, to be honest. Even the Tom and Jerry stuff, even like the censorship of smoking in those cartoons or whatever, and just all of that is it really seems, yeah. And if we're so much more sophisticated and so much more intelligent or whatever the hell we think we are, wouldn't we have the proper judgment to go, yeah, that was of the time, and maybe it's not like that now, and that's what that is, and that's it.
Well, I think people kind of need it spelled. Some people need it spelled out for them now that, look, things were different back then. Wasn't always like it was after 2015. So just understand that going in.
Our sensibilities have become so overly sensitive.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Absolutely.
Which led to all the homogenization. Right? Everything's very safe.
Yeah.
Don't offend nobody.
100%.
There you go. See, I got you saying
rubbing off.
Chat,
Stato. If we did a drinking game to you saying 100%, forget it.
They'd be dead.
We'd have a lot on our hands tonight. Stato, this was great.
It was.
Old Dirty says, this was a comment up here. It says, can I suggest a new hit show? Peter and Stat, Happy Fun Hour.
Is that when we were being depressing?
I'm guessing. No, he was liking everything.
Okay, I was thinking, like, there's a point where the show dipped and we're like, everything.
At least I think that was what that was. I think he was enjoying it and wanted to see more of this. I'm game for a checkup again whenever
Sure.
whenever you are.
Sure. It's always nice to come on and say hi to you guys.
But yeah, this was a lot of fun, man. It was good
Where
catching
am I
up with
welcome?
you. And yeah, you're always welcome. So don't be a stranger, and I'll make sure you aren't one, as long as you're okay with that.
That's fine.
All right. Anything that you wanted to say or touch upon before we part ways?
I wish I had something more clever prepared. I don't. But thank you everyone for showing up. Thanks Pete for having me again. This is a fun trip down memory lane, and I'm glad it
Freudian slip right there, but it's all right.
That's my performance. I'm glad it wasn't very awkward. Like, I'm how are you? I'm good. How are you? How are you? Good. And then long silences.
That's like what? That's like that when Kramer's telling Jerry about getting married. And he's like, you know what you do when you get married? You talk about your day. How was your day? What did you do today? What was your day like today?
That's right. That's right. Pete and Stat discussing crappy movies would be gold.
Oh man.
Wow.
The irony
Who said
is
they were
that,
crappy?
That's the irony, is that they'd be crappy, but we'd love them all.
We talked about gold.
They were
Troll 2 and I Come in Peace.
Oh, Troll 2 is gold. Gold. If you guys have not seen Troll 2 and you have what you would consider to be a healthy sense of humor, I really recommend see Troll 2. Has nothing to do with Troll 1.
Yeah. Troll 1, that was the one in the apartment complex, right?
That was one in the apartment. Yeah.
The troll that looked like it came from Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yes. 100%.
Damn. Drink.
And that's the one too with it's got Noah Hathaway's in it. He's the kid who's also in Neverending Story.
It's got the one actor that looks like a very small Oates.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but he's in a lot of stuff in the 80s.
Oh yeah, he was great. And it's got Julie Louis-Dreyfus too for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
It's got a bunch of different people. June Lockhart and her
that one
daughter.
Needs a remake. I could see that one as a
June
good
Lockhart. Geez, she just recently passed away. She was 100.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to be on our highlight reel.
Oh, it has to be. It was great. She was great in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Troll 1 was a more respectable film, I suppose you could say.
Right.
Still great in its own way, but nothing close to the comedic heights of Troll 2. Troll 2 is just that level of.
Oh my gosh.
You
you
really
Troll 2 apologist.
Oh man. Fantastic.
Ambassador.
Yeah, and I'm not apologizing for Troll 2 at all. It's incredible.
No guilty pleasures.
No guilt in that pleasure whatsoever. Guilt free.
Yeah.
All right. And thank you guys. I'm glad you all enjoyed the conversation there.
Yeah.
Chuck says it was a great conversation. Jeff says fun meandering chat, guys. Thank you, Jeff. And Darker Half says Peter Jackson's bad taste. So yeah, look at that. All right.
Back when he was allowed to do weird crap.
Yeah. Man. All right. So that's it for us. Tomorrow night, Fund My Comic. It came out on a Wednesday, number 22 and 23, launching on that platform. It will not be launching on Kickstarter. It will not be launching on Indiegogo. We were going to get a little bit into Indiegogo tonight, but I'm kind of happy we didn't. It's a very depressing topic as far as I'm concerned right now.
You just said it's like Kickstarter and it's not very fun to navigate.
Yeah. That's about the details of it. So it won't be on those platforms. It's just going to be on Fund My Comic for a short period of time, just 16 days. And that's because we're going to start fulfilling orders for that on November 25th.
You're going to get a sweaty hug too from Old Dirty Fatty.
What was that?
You're going to get a sweaty
hug too.
Yeah.
Or it won't be the first, and I'm sure it won't be the last. I look forward to that sweaty hug one day, Old Dirty Fatty. You can find me a lot easier than Stato, I suppose. You at least know where to look. Unless, if you ever see a sweaty fat guy, I guess, hugging, I'm assuming you're fat, and I don't want you to take offense to it, Old Dirty Fatty. You have that in the name.
That'll throw them off.
But, if you see that individual hugging birds wherever you are, you might assume that it is Old Dirty Fatty looking to hug Stato. But I digress. So we'll have it came out on a Wednesday, 22 and 23 on Fund My Comic tomorrow night. And it's just going to be up there for 16 days. If you don't want to back it on there, if you don't want to get it on there, that's fine. It's on alternacomics.com/pre-order.
That's where I get mine.
Yeah, that's where a lot of smart people get theirs. Be a smart person like Stato and many others and get yours directly. But if you want to be a smart person still who has other choices and preferences of where you shop, you can go to Fund My Comic tomorrow night. And again, it'll be available for 16 days up on there. And then we'll be shipping them out starting November 25th. So thank you guys so much. And hope you check out that series. It's a great series with 2 great new issues out. And we're going to be getting those to you very, very soon.
Yep, you'll have them for next year's Halloween.
Exactly. There you go. You can have them for Halloween. You can have them for Christmas.
That's right.
So yeah, so that's it.
No.
That's all I got for you.
All right.
And that'll be enough, I suppose.
100%.
100%. All right. Almost 2 hours.
Not
and
bad.
2 hours well spent.
Do these usually go 2 hours?
No. These usually don't go 2 hours. Sometimes they do, but not usually.
Okay.
So look at that. Look at what you did.
Sorry, everybody.
All right, everyone. Have a great night. And you know the
Good night,
rest.
everybody.
And even better tomorrow. See you guys soon.
100%.
All the best.